In terms of game plan, you have to ask my coach, but for me, you have to have the will to win. You can have a game plan, but if you ain't got the will to follow it through, you ain't gonna do it. Because it's one thing showing you to do it, and it's another thing actually doing it with someone in front of you. So yeah, I got the will to win, and that's what's most important.
Yeah. So.
Thank you, bro.
What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB, back once again. So, we just heard there from Anthony Joshua. It's one of his post-fight reactions. Now, obviously, he had a post-fight reaction in the ring, but it was all a little bit moist. I'm focusing right now on these bars because I don't care what no one says, man. What have I been saying for the longest time? It's not rocket science, but end of the day, what he's saying here, Ben Davidson, fair play to him. He's the only man to have been able to discernibly at this point make a significant change in AJ. Ngannou was a bit leaky, but listen, Ngannou was who he was against Fury. End of the day, and Fury was hitting Ngannou. We all saw the big shots. In fact, we all concluded that Ngannou has some sort of Anunnaki chin. Yeah, chin from the gods. The same shots that was sending Deontay's 6'7" basketball player looking ass to the moon was doing sweet nizzle to Ngannou. That is the same dude, 4 months later. AJ hit that same leaky guard, that same Anunnaki chin, and dude was sent to Mars. Earlier in this press conference, AJ talked about having, being in flow state. He was flowing. He was on his job. One of them once. And that's how it felt like. I mean, for years after AJ kind of fell off, I'd call the fall off period certainly 2019 to 2023, late 2023. He was never in a flow state. In this press conference, he referenced, I'm in a flow state. Combining that with, now I actually think it's different. AJ talks about having the will to win. I don't think that's what we're really observing here. The will to win. AJ had the will to win in the Ruiz 2 fight, right? What he has now is, he has the will. What am I trying to say? He has the will to be spiteful. He has the will to dominate. The will to win. Floyd Mayweather had the will to win. Tyson Fury had the will to win in the Klitschko fight. The will to win and the will to be menacing are two different, completely different mindsets. In fact, to the contrary, turning up with the will to win is almost a negative. Turning up with the number one focus in your mind being, I must win, isn't the right mindset for a fight. We're not driving cars here. And even if you drive cars, even Formula 1 racers, a lot of the top ones, they turn up not just to win, they turn up to be aggressive. I'm going to attack. That's normally what separates, apart from the car of course, but the mindset, I'm going to attack every corner. I wouldn't know where to start driving a car fast, but being aggressive, obviously there's a trade-off, there's a balancing act. If you're too aggressive, you end up skirting off into the barriers or whatever. And I guess the same in boxing. If you're too aggressive in the cut, if you're too aggressive in the paint, oops, your block get bust off. So it's having that flow state combined with the willingness to be menacing. And I believe that's what we've seen change from AJ. In fact, the best way of putting it is the will to fight. Yeah? The will to win and the will to fight are two different things. Floyd had the will to win. I question, did Floyd have the will to fight? We don't know. He alleges, well, I was never tested. Well, all due respect, Floyd, you was fighting Robert Guerrero. Yeah, and Andre Berto, dudes who have been beat or they've been never beat no one, etc., etc. People like Terence Crawford, they have the will to win and the will to fight and the will to be menacing. That's what's been missing from AJ's career. When you watch AJ in Ruiz 2 or against Pulev, the will to win was there. He wanted to win. He would perform to win. He did not have the will to fight. And I believe Ben Davidson has been locked into my channel. It was me, people. No one else. All this other goof troop on here. All the other goof troop was celebrating AJ's. People call me a hater. Why be you a hater? No. Yeah? Nothing to hate about at all. No, I ain't no hating. I've observed that AJ had lost the will to fight. He didn't want to fight. He didn't want to exchange. He didn't want to believe in himself. He has now regained via Ben Davidson / the YB. But listen, people, Ben Davidson weren't teaching Tyson Fury the will to fight when Fury was in there with. In fact, Fury left Ben Davidson more or less on the basis that Ben didn't want him to fight. Ben wanted him to politic. Freddie Roach was visibly arguing with Ben Davidson in the corner at the first fight, going into round 12. Fury gets knocked out in round 11, or knocked down, almost spark out like his dad was 30 years ago against the Black Skellington and against Ross Gerber. Ben Davidson was about to throw the towel in and telling Fury, whoa, back off, back off. Freddie Roach was saying, sit your inexperienced ass down, let him do what he does. And Fury came out fighting. And it was at that point Fury decided, along with counsel, that, you know what, Ben Davidson doesn't know how to beat Wilder. He only knows how to... At that time, Ben Davidson was almost one-dimensional. And I respect Ben. He's grown. He's watched people more knowledgeable than himself, the YB, 100%. And he's somehow... Now, I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon of new trainers. Every year, there's some trainer, right, who looks like he's the God's gift. Right now, Ben Davison is looking like he's the God's gift. Because everyone's tried it. Yeah, Derek James, who has Errol Spence and Jamel Charlo. Every trainer who's anyone, Robert Garcia, anyone who's tried with AJ. And we saw no discernible difference. The first fight he fought with Ben Davidson, and all of a sudden, he lightened dudes up. And AJ actually said that Andy Lee is also in the camp. And I have to give credit to Andy Lee. Why? Look at Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker in the Joseph Parker in the AJ fight. In fact, Joseph Parker and AJ were in very similar positions in their career. Relatively. When Joe Parker lost to AJ, Joe Parker had lost the will to fight. He was second guessing himself. He didn't really want to get stuck in. AJ's been in that same place Joseph Parker was. Not willing. Not having the will to fight. Not having the will to believe in yourself. Not having the will to commit. That is what AJ has gained. I'd argue he hasn't gained he never lost the will to win. I believe AJ went into every fight wanting to win. He didn't go into every fight believing he could knock someone's blocks clean off. Look at the foot placement. Yeah? In boxing, where you place your feet before you drop a shot really kind of defines how confident you are. Yeah, people like Usyk, they ain't never planting their feet nowhere. It's all done, it's all nimble. You never see Usyk leaning over his lead foot to get leverage and load up. He's always on his toes, and he's never stepping into danger territory. He gets in, marginally, he taps away and he gets out. AJ planted them big bulbous African rhino foot right in enemy territory and winged that right hand over. That is raw confidence and belief of a flow state to get that kind of shot off. Francis, he's not the best boxer, but he's not stupid. Would AJ catch Usyk with that same shot? Unlikely. Usyk's feet would react and he wouldn't be caught slipping there. Nonetheless, it was AJ he did it so calmly. AJ was in flow state. We all saw it in the Wallin fight. And I haven't seen him like that. People, OIB, you're a hater. Go back and watch AJ versus Ruiz 2 or AJ versus Pulev. People criticised me and said, well, YB, you can't expect AJ to perform like this against Ruiz because Ruiz is a different fighter to Ngannou or Wallin. Maybe. But look at Pulev. AJ was even worse against Pulev. You never once see AJ commit to get his heavy hands going against Pulev. Even 6 months ago, literally 6 months ago when he fought Hellenius. Until the big shot came, AJ was politicking. He weren't committing to nothing. Didn't believe in him. He didn't have the will to fight. He didn't have the will to commit. And that's what I believe's changed. And I salute Ben Davison for whatever he's done. Because it's night and day. And the fact he not only knocked out Ngannou, I mean, we haven't seen AJ knock no one out like that, really. Let's be real here, people. Spark out. Even when he beat Charles Martin, that was the last time, really, I think that was 4 rounds. Even that, though, Charles Martin wasn't spark out. Charles Martin was shook to death. When was the last time you saw AJ comatose someone in round 2? Almost never. So this is, I said the other day, I believe AJ is actually... Right now, I'm putting AJ at least on par with his prime, if not above. time will tell, right? The next fight will tell. I mean, AJ's calling out Hrgovic. This is real. That's why I'm so glad. I'm so glad he back on. This is how it's supposed to be. Yeah, Tyson Fury has had 4 or 5 years longer in the pro game than AJ, and he's never fought any contender. Meanwhile, Usyk and AJ, top of their games, and they're taking on all challengers. Not looking at the money in that sense, not politicking. Oh, that's a hard fight. This is a hard fight. I better avoid that one. Let me just hang around for a year. AJ wants Hrgovic. Fair play to the guy, man. And I'm so inspired. This is actually rejuvenated. For them years that I was popping, or them years I was excited about the game, was because AJ was about his business in the ring, and he's fighting everyone. The two prerequisites for excitement for me. Boxing game's gone dead because we had Fury, who's good in the ring, but outside of it, he's not fighting, or if he does fight, it's a bum, or if it is a big fight, he pull out 4 times. It killed momentum and love for the game. Now we have a man who's popping, more dangerous than Fury. Fury ain't knocking nothing out in 2 rounds. Not even a basketball player, right? We got a guy who's menacing and wants to be menacing against all the best guys. AJ didn't fight Ngannou like Fury fought Ngannou. Fury fought Ngannou as a 10-1 no good wrestler. AJ fought Ngannou where it's like, damn, Ngannou can box. Ngannou knocked down the best boxer in the world at the time. And I'm sorry, for me now, it's still early days. I want to see AJ in his next fight, but we all said, listen, if AJ knocks Ngannou's spark out, then he's a dangerous, dangerous dude. This next fight, AJ versus Hrgovic, and he's only getting, AJ so far looks to be only getting better. It took him 5, 6 rounds against Wallin. This was 2 rounds. Now Hrgovic is a real boxer and a real contender, but yeah, I've got AJ winning that fight. Again, we don't know where he tops out. He's still getting better. He's only been with Ben Davidson 6 months. Where are we another 6 months from here? Fascinating. AJ also wants to be active. This is only good people. When you're having easy fights like Wallin and Ngannou, why not? AJ wants to fight 3-4 times a year. I salute that. That's what he needs to be doing. Boxing is a very rare sport where, probably the only sport in the world where in what sports do you compete once a year or twice a year? It's ridiculous. There's no way you can be firing on all cylinders if you're fighting once or twice a year, especially when you're dominating them fights. So yes, salute to AJ, salute to Ben Davidson, and I can't wait to see where this journey goes. Boxing is back, people, and it's because of AJ. Yeah? Oh, why be you flip-flopped? Why be you back on the bandwagon? People, I will bandwagon anyone who wants to fight anyone and who wants to get in there and deliver. And when I say deliver, I don't mean win. Yeah? If AJ had lost to Usyk fighting like this, I don't care what no one says. No one can tell me, yeah, AJ fought Usyk like he did fight Ngannou. Yes, they're different fighters. But it's the commitment. Now maybe it's just pure circumstance. Maybe Wallin and Ngannou were just made for AJ. Maybe he goes in there and gets bamboozled against Usyk. I'll believe it when I see it though, I'm telling you now. And it's probably a bad omen, but in AJ versus Usyk 3, I'm putting money on AJ. Yeah? Because with all due respect, before AJ fought Usyk, he still wasn't looking that sharp. I'm trying to think now. I think Pulev. Was it Pulev or was it someone else? He fought... Who did he fight? Yeah, it must have been Pulev. AJ's last fight before the Usyk fight was Pulev. And look at that. I'd consider Pulev like a Wallin, or... I think Ngannou would beat Pulev, but... Look at that Pulev fight. It was woeful. Woeful. He was almost scared of his own shadow. And AJ's just proven he's taken out 2 Pulev standard opponents, Ngannou and Wallin, and made it look easy. So we do not have the same AJ we had from the Usyk 1 fight, which was the Pulev AJ. Useless. Good for nothing. Big for nothing. We now have a man who's doubling down on himself, and that's the thing with confidence. It's a spiral. You only get better with it. And AJ's got enough experience in the game, it's not going to go to his head. Some people are now saying, well, the Ngannou fight, he was more confident, which he was. Ngannou isn't even a big talker, but after the Fury fight, he was feeling himself some retarded. And people are saying, well, he got too lax and he lost his head. I don't think that was the case. I think AJ was just that sharp. AJ was actually on, people. He turned up and he was on. Anyway, salute to AJ. Let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe, and let off the bell 100%. No doubt.